where humans come from.
Everything's in place and they've taken the bait. Yes. Now to start reeling them in.
Once.
I'm sure I've forgotten something. Not to worry, I'll simply send someone to fetch... As soon as I remember what it was.
We've been to so many places lately.
What do you say we take a day off from adventuring and just find somewhere nice to relax? Let Paimon think. Where are some nice places we could go? Oh, why don't we pay Cloud Retainer a visit at Mount Outsong? It's been a while since we last saw that illuminated bird. She's always the one popping up out of nowhere and scaring us half to death. So let's surprise her this time.
I have to stifle a smile every time I remember the look on my retainers' faces when I informed them of my plans today. Panic-stricken, but unable to muster the courage to say anything in opposition. Yes, this was a fine idea.
Justice will prevail!
Ming over.
Make way for the objective!
Mind the danger. Escape.
Seize the sky!
The depths back.
Justice will prevail!
Many happy returns! Sorry, pal!
Tommy Structure.
I'll see you on time! Congratulations!
Rock your way. 5 off more than we can chew.
Cascade! Mind the danger.
Up to it, Montai!
Be still. Allow me to intervene. I'm feeling a little washed out.
Time to go.
The wind knows me. Fallen leaves. Join my knight! Into the wind. Fine. One with nature.
One with wind and cloud.
Into the wind. The wind knows me. Into the wind.
What you got? A new job.
The wind knows it.
Everybody stand back!
One with nature. Clouds high.
Birds come!
Freeze!
The wind knows it.
Cool it!
One with nature.
Time to go. Time to go.
Follow the wind.
Take a guess. Add ast. Thank you for Add astra. Add astra.
remember the first time we came here? We even brought offerings and everything. And when we told her that Rex Lapis had been assassinated, she immediately threatened to squash Liyue Harbor. Paimon thought she'd be impossible to get along. We probably don't need to bring any offerings now that we've gotten to know her pretty well, right? Still, huh? Traveler? Did something catch your... Whoa, what a pretty lady! Is she also here to visit Cloud Retainer? Yeah, you're right. All it takes is one look and you can tell she's someone special. As expected of that bird lady, really. She must have a whole bunch of Adepti friends from all over the country. Okay, but if we're both friends of Cloud Retainer, then we're basically friends by association, right? Want to go up to her and say hello? Helping you make more connections is a part of Paimon's job as your reliable guide. Paimon's got this. Hello. Paimon is Paimon. Paimon does.
You two... What is this tomfoolery? Has this shift in form so clouded your eyes that you no longer recognize one anymore?
Wait. You're... Huh? You're the illuminated bird? But you look... human. How did that happen?
Oh, donning human form is scarcely any test of one's abilities. As for your confusion, one merely had no reason to indulge such inclinations before.
So, you're...
Well, one has made plans to pay a visit to some disciples at Liyue Harbor. Taking on a human form for such a trip is simply a way to make matters less conspicuous.
You? Worrying about keeping a low profile? You're the one who likes to pop up out of nowhere all over the place. In fact, Paimon can think of several examples. Like what? Hey, didn't we agree not to bring that up unless...
Oh? So you have taken care to follow the proper rules of etiquette after all.
Well, this is...
One has never found oneself lacking in basic comforts. On the contrary, it is the gesture that one values.
That kinda makes Paimon feel a little guilty for trying to keep them for her... Ah, right!
One planned to extend the invitation even if you had not raised the matter yourself. However, one would first inquire as to the reason behind your visit here.
Yeah, we just found ourselves missing you and wanted to see how you were doing. We were hoping you'd tell us one of your stories. Who knew we'd run into your human form while we were at it?
Is that so? If there are no urgent matters at hand, then let us make haste for Liyue Harbor. Ganyu is likely still working at Yuehai Pavilion, so that shall be our first stop.
Sounds great! Then let's all go to Liyue Harbor!
Ganyu has been quite busy with work. Shanaha has also secured employment recently. In her correspondence with me, she wrote that she shall have no need to return for the foreseeable future. Did they think one was so easily mocked?
was at Weihai Pavilion. Hey, do you... Guess we have no idea if Shenhe and Ganyu have ever seen her in this form before. Wait, where did she go? Why are you just standing there, Cloud Retainer?
Quietly now. One shall stay here. You two can go and meet with her.
But what?
If one were to proudly proclaim one's presence, Ganyu would surely profess herself otherwise unoccupied and drop One does not wish to trouble her. Conversing vicariously via you two shall suffice.
Fair enough. Makes sense. Alright then, we'll just pass on your regards and...
Cloud Retainer?
Oh,
Oh! Busted.
Is that lady someone you know, Miss Ganyu?
She is indeed. I'm sorry, Huixin, but could we delay the upcoming meeting for a little bit?
Oh, not to worry, Miss.
Thank you, Huixin.
It's been a while, Ganyu.
Greetings. What brings you here today? And Cloud Retainer, too. It's been quite some time.
you are quite mistaken. One is not acquainted with this Cloud Retainer of whom you...
Huh?
Seems she's not buying it.
That was but a simple test. One did not expect you...
But recognizing you is, my responsibility as your disciple.
An apt observation. One was simply passing by while attending to some important bit.
Wait, Paimon wasn't aware of any important... Cloud Retainer's right! We've still got something super important to do, so...
Oh, is that so? But it's been so long since we last saw each other.
One simply desired to see you and had no intention of interrupting your work. A quick
I understand. That should be fine.
While one acknowledges the amount of work that you have to deal with every day, one must also remind you to rest. Though adept... it still makes one nostalgic to see you as you are now, respected and independent. When you were young, you oft begged one to cuddle you to sleep when you suffered from nightmares.
Cloud Retainer! Stop!
If you insist. We are running short on time regardless, so one will refrain from going into each and every story. Why don't you
Wow, you've been to so many new places since the last time we spoke. Also, forgive me for my presumptuousness, Cloud Retainer, but if you plan to continue appearing in this form, don't you think it'd be helpful to adopt a human name?
A human name? Huh. You raise a
You really think so? Not that you're not famous or anything, but... that famous?
You presume to know the extent of one's illustrious achievements. One would hardly think such a thing to be possible. Nevertheless, Ganyu's advice cannot be ignored. From this point on, when in public occasions, be sure to refer to one as Shenyun.
Chenyu?
Ah, I assume that's a reference to the full record of Pristine Pavilion. An adeptus of years past would rise with the clouds and rest with the moon. They were enlightened and wise, free and unfettered. The writer referenced Master's name to describe her carefree and spontaneous nature.
Oh, that sounds super cool! Paimon feels like only the most powerful of adepts.
Actually, those lines were originally written...
Huh? Wait, so you're really that powerful?
And what of it? Did you truly take one to be nothing more than a bird of bigger than average size?
Not exactly.
To be fair, Cloud Retainer rarely speaks of her past accomplishments. The tales of her past... It is said that once, a long, long time ago, there was a severe drought in Liyue. Left with no choice, many people left their homes, while others... Although I did not live through such tragedy, on top of the drought, a noxious gas... The books had this to say. Upon arrival, the Adeptus borrowed the wind to
That's incredible!
Mortal records add embellishments to dramatize past events. One did merely with one art. And
Even so, you stopped an entire drought! Can you... Oh, Paimon suddenly has a lot more respect for you. So it was Paimon...
how laughable. A name is but a simple label we carry with us on our...
That's a relief. In that case, Paimon will continue to call you whatever feels...
Well, that is quite enough ancient history for now. Ganyu, have you had word from Shenhe? One has heard that she procured a job recently. Have you any thoughts on her workplace? And what, pray tell, of her monthly remuneration? Moreover, does she find herself overly inundated with work? Is she allowed time off during Lantern Rite?
That is a lot of questions.
There is no cause for concern, Cloud Retainer. I introduced Shenhe to her employer personally. Wanmin Restaurant's business has been booming recently. So, with Chef Mao being swamped with customers, and Xiangling still off and out in search of new recipes, I introduced Shenhe to staff the restaurant.
I see. Most excellent indeed. One has had the pleasure of being introduced to that family. Xiangling is kind and Now, it is almost time to partake in the victuals of noon.
Huh? But didn't you just say that you had something?
Can that wait until after we've eaten?
You may return to your work, Ganyu. One shall see to this matter on one's own. There will be many an occasion to dine to...
Of course, Cloud Retainer. Please, take care. Travel...
See you around, Ganyu! Paimon was pretty quick on the uptake there, don't you think? As soon as you mentioned important business to attend to, Paimon realized that you were just looking to cut the conversation short and not take too much of Ganyu's time. Is Paimon right?
No, in fact, it was not an excuse. One is indeed visiting Liyue Harbor for an important purpose.
Wait, for real?
The moment is not yet upon us. Still, the truth will be revealed to you in time.
Huh. She really seems to be playing up the whole mysterious Adeptus thing right now. Is it because we just heard that cool story about her powers?
You get what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, how can I not? Not even fine food is enough to distract from the presence of a fine lady, huh?
Oh, I'm far more interested in getting her
You do it!
No. I think you should.
What can I get for you today?
Greetings, miss. I was just wondering if you'd...
What would you like to order?
2 servings of more meat to go. Good chat. Bye.
Shenhe!
Welcome. It's been a while. May I take your order?
Don't welcome us as guests and greet us as old friends in the same line. It's weird.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
This is Miss Xinyun.
Master?
Huh?
One does not recall ever revealing this form to you before.
I've trained and lived with Master for more than 10 years. I would recognize you no matter what form you take. Is something the matter, Master?
Hardly. One simply learned of your employment from your letter.
And check out the great food, too!
Indeed. It's almost lunchtime. My apologies. I'm still on the clock and can't talk for very long.
Well, if it isn't the Traveler in Paimon. Are you here for Shenhe? The lunch rush isn't in yet, Shenhe. So I've got things covered for now. Go ahead, sit down and enjoy some time with your friends.
Thank you, Chef.
It is just as one expected. The owner of Ming. Still, the work here entails dealing with quite a varied group of people. Has this been difficult for you, Shenhe?
It's been manageable so far. I sometimes run into
Seems like you've been making progress. So by dealing with them, you mean...
First, I try to talk sense into them. If that doesn't work, I threaten them with violence. At this point, they usually decide they are in favor of a civil conversation.
Oh, a sensible plan. One is gladdened to...
And you, Master? How have you been?
Simply marvelous. Though Mount Outsong has scarcely enjoyed your presence recently, one has hardly found the pleasure of one's own company to be lacking.
I see. Just as expected of Master. I have missed Master quite a bit too. Even though work has been busy lately.
Oh, you did? Do make note of such matters in your letters in the future. There's hardly a need to keep one in suspense.
Whoa. Her mood shot up just like that.
By the way, Master, since you are in Liyue Harbor, have you had the chance...
Indeed. She is similarly preoccupied with her work. There was time...
Ganya told us the story of Cloud Retainer's name. It was amazing.
I see. In that case,
Oh?
Is that a problem, Master?
No, not a problem. One was simply caught off guard. But no matter. Please, proceed. One is most curious to see how much of one's own conversational prowess you possess.
Master once participated in a race against Mooncarver. After Mooncarver lost, he insisted that Master's ability to fly gave her a natural edge in such a contest. In response, Master agreed to forego flying in return for being able to use one of her devices in the race. Mooncarver accepted, only to find Master...
What kind of...
It was a mechanical vehicle made out of iron. What was it called again?
Oh, you refer to the bicyclical Thunder Flashmobile. One spent 49 days conceptualizing and crafting it. It need only be infused with a depth... Oh, it boggles the mind why Mooncarver ever supposed he might best me in a contest of... Alas, the one flaw of my mechanism lay in its weakness against mountainous terrain. One was thwarted mere seconds from victory, when it was thrown off course and failed to make it across the final stretch.
Master, that was the end of that story.
Is that so? With you gone, one has seldom felt the desire to call upon those old fossils for another contest. What is a...
Have you been lonely, Master?
Lonely? At one's age, entire human generations come and go in the blink of an eye. 'Tis a most foreign sentiment. The mere mention of it is preposterous. What is the reason for that look upon your face?
It's nothing. It's just... well, Paimon gained a lot of respect for you after listening to that story of you summoning the rain and everything. But I was just a little bit confused. Which one of the two is the real Cloud?
To me, they are both master. One is the master that's widely revered by the people, while the other is the master that I respect and adore.
One finds oneself exalted yet again. This is not to say that your words paint an inaccurate picture. One has always lived by a single ideal. Eschew all action and abide by no...
She got like, what, 2 sentences of flattery from her disciple? And it's as if...
Do you have any empty tables?
Hey there, could we get another fish stew?
I'm hearing more guests come in. I should get back to work.
Alright, good luck with the lunchtime rush then, huh?
Mm-hmm. I'll try my best.
So much yummy food! Paimon's gonna feast!
One is fond of all kinds of delicacies and delights in a The dishes here demonstrate no shortage of culinary skill. Their unique flavor profile has left one more.
Everything's so tasty! A bit too hot at times, but still super tasty.
I'm sorry, miss, but our tables are full.
Shall we try somewhere else, Granny? But it smells so delightful. Can we really not eat here? My poor legs can't go on for much longer.
Well, you could always check with some of the other guests and see if...
Okay, I'll ask around. Excuse me. Would you mind letting us share a table with you? There are no...
Ah, well, Paimon doesn't mind. What about you guys?
Great! Thanks so much. My name is Shuyu, and this is my granny, Yuendai.
Granny?
Yep. Is there something wrong with that?
No, Paimon's just a bit surprised.
Yeah, a lot of people compliment Granny on her youthful... Granny, why don't you take a seat?
Huh. Have we met before?
No.
Anticipated meeting, then. Please, take a seat.
What would you like to eat, Granny? I can order for you. I want braised earthworms. They all... No, not this again. Granny, there's no...
Braised earthworms? Well, that sounds weird. Do people... Right, that's what Paimon was... Need any help?
Help? Oh, do you mean with Granny? Thanks, that's nice of you to offer. Granny has pretty bad dementia, so her memory's... Actually, her memory's been bad ever since... They died young. It's just me and Granny now. Oh. But it's okay. Don't feel bad. Granny loves me a lot, and I love her a lot.
Wow. You're
You're too kind. And me? Oh, what about me? You're tough too, Granny. Plus, you're really gentle.
Yes, and it's hardly as if I forget everything. I still remember the important things. Wait, what was that really important thing again? Ah, I remember now. It was a dream. I had a dream where...
Huh? That sounds super important.
It was just a dream, so I forgot. Ah, you know, I believe I've had this dream
Wait, so you have a reoccurring dream where someone's talking to you? That sounds spooky. Oh, does that mean you're possessed?
Unlikely. Her eyes are clear and her breathing remains calm and level.
Are you sure?
Who do you take me for? Is one not an adept? Am I not an expert?
You're right. Paimon almost forgot you're the expert. In that case,
Not anymore. Although, I have a sense that she looked rather like...
Younger, this is just getting weirder and weirder. What is going on here?
As one said, fate must have brought...
Are you sure? So, what are your names?
Paimon's Paimon.
Just Shenyun is fine.
Thank you all so much for offering to help. But first...
Oh, we don't need any payment for this. You're welcome. But Miss Chenyu, all we have to go off is that dream.
That is elementary. Since her dreams portray her younger self, then we shall retrace...
Sounds like a plan. So Granny...
Why, of course I do. The heavens above, the earth...
Okay, taking that as a no.
I might have an idea. Once, when I was really little, my dad told me that Granny used to be a... If it's true, then maybe they wrote about it in the history books or something.
A martial arts heroine? Oh, Xingqiu knows tons about Liyue's chivalric traditions. If anyone knows about the heroes...
Are you leaving already?
I'll go order some food, Granny. If there's nothing on the menu you especially...
It seems we must part ways for now. The Traveler and Paimon are bound for the Feiyun Commerce Guild, while Yuendai and Shuyu shall remain here and partake of their lunch. As for myself, I have matters to discuss with Streetward Rambler.
Streetward Rambler?
Precisely. Let us meet at Yujing Ta...
Always wanted to try this place.
Food is unbelievable.
Where are you going, Granny? Don't you like the food?
Fresh milk. I need
milk. Why?
You need to drink milk before eating, or the spicy food will...
Granny, you're forgetting things.
Wonderful. Oh, wonderful.
Huh. It's you two. What brings you here?
Xingqiu! Great, we found you! We wanted to ask you about something.
That's not a whole lot of information to go off of. I can't pinpoint her identity from your description alone. But considering her age...
Nameless heroine?
That's right. The novels often speak of a great drought from 50 years ago. As the people suffered, a nameless heroine appeared and began to clear away evil. All they knew was that she always acted alone. Later, though, she supposedly fell in love with a similarly noble-minded exorcist from Mount Tianheng. They were well matched in more ways than one, often fighting together as a fearsome duo of other worlds. After the drought ended, the heroine and the exorcist left the public eye and began living a reclusive life in the mountains. All that remained were tales of her incredible accomplishments. The way this nameless heroine faded from fame into obscurity later in life is not too dissimilar from Miss Yuendai.
Thanks a lot, Xingqiu. We knew it'd be worth talking to you.
It's nothing at all. Just something I came across while reading. I did do a bit of extra...
Well, Paimon still thinks that's super cool. Oh, wait.
Let me think. In the novels, the nameless heroine always appeared near one of three places. Wangshu Inn, the area just north of Jueyun Karst, and Qingyun Peak. Perhaps the real-life heroine who inspired the character was also often seen near those three places. You're welcome. To be honest, I found some parts of the story confusing when I first came across it. It's rare for a chivalric hero to fade into obscurity during their lifetime. Even after retiring from the public, I've never understood why someone would go to such lengths to erase themselves from public memory.
We'll be sure to tell you if we manage to uncover the truth.
That's a deal. Perhaps, behind the truth of it all, there lies a story more fantastic.
Paimon feels like we just learned so much from Xingqiu. A drought, a nameless heroine, a life of seclusion. Wait, why does this... Oh, right! There's a drought in this story, too! Xingqiu, are droughts super common in Liyue or something?
Well, they used to be. But people have... So while droughts do happen from time to time, they are rarely regarded as true disasters. The drought 50, the crops withered, the streams ran dry, and the monsters in the mountains became rabid and...
That sounds awful!
Yeah, and that's exactly why the nameless heroine was so beloved. Still, as terrible as that drought was, they say that back in those days, disasters were both more severe and more common. Only the strongest... Do you have any other question?
We're good for...
Oh, thank you. Straightward, Ping, what has amused you so?
Oh, it's no serious matter. I was just reminiscing about the last time I saw you in this form. Time has wrought such change in this world, and yet you appear just the same as ever.
Time has little bearing on one's existence, nor has one keenly felt its effects whilst dwelling at Mount Outsong. Nevertheless, Ping, one would like to...
Oh, why so formal all of a...
Well, the inquiry... Approximately how much more would one need to afford a comfortable life in the harbor, not unlike the one that you yourself lead?
It does not require a...
Cloud Retainer, Madam Ping! What are you two talking about?
Nothing save for some trivial matters. Have you unearthed any useful details?
Xingqiu has a theory, but let's save it for when Chuyu and Miss Yundai have joined.
Do not be troubled, young...
Thank you. What do you think, Chuyu? Does it match up with what you know of your granny?
According to the story, the nameless heroine eventually fell in love with an exorcist from Mount Tianheng. Maybe... that's my grandpa. I don't have many memories of him, but there was this one time I found a box in her attic full of a bunch of weird sigils. I think so too. Granny might remember something once she's returned to a familiar place.
What marvelous tea. I can... It's as if I was taking a stroll in the mountain.
Is that so? Then please...
Thank you.
Okay, since we have the time... Sure thing. What would you like to know?
I have a secret I want to tell you. I've been kind of meaning to ask ever since we started talking in the restaurant. But are you guys all adepti in disguise?
Oh! About that.
Well, you guys just seem super special.
Oh, must have been a slip of the tongue. Shenyun, since you were the one who, misspoke, maybe you can explain to Shuyu here what you really meant by...
One is indeed an Adeptus. Is that of some concern to you?
I knew it. Well, one time when I was a little kid, I saw a pure white illuminated crane. I had this super high fever, and Granny wasn't around. I was feeling all icky and gross. She put me on her back and flew me to her cool Adeptus house and fed me some sort of magic potion. When I woke up, I was already back in my bed and my fever was gone. I really wanted to thank her, but I was too sleepy to stay awake, so I never... So, I just kind of wanted to ask if maybe any of you have ever met an Adeptus like that?
A pure white illuminated crane? The only two we've ever met are blue and white and black and brown. Have you ever met one that's pure white, Cloud Retainer?
Never has one met an Adeptus with such features. One surmises such a description is but a...
That's weird. Was it really just a dream then? Well, even if it was just in my head, it doesn't matter that much anyway.
Leave it to us! Now that we know the 3 locations, let's go to Wangshu Inn first!
Okay, I'll go get Granny.
Wangshu Inn.
Do you remember this place, Granny?
Yes. The fish here is very delicious. And I believe I used to have a room here. It had a window.
I'll come with.
Paimon's still having some trouble understanding what she's talking about, but if she's so familiar with this place, that must mean she... Whoa! Shao! What are you doing here all of a sudden? You scared the living daylights out of Paimon!
I sensed a non-human presence and decided to come take a look. If you're here, then there's likely no trouble afoot. I suppose there's no cause for concern. It's been a while, Cloud Retainer. I see you have returned to your previous form. I have indeed. I fought alongside her in this form on many occasions during the Archon War.
Oh, wow! What was she like during the war? Oh, wait, let Paimon take a guess. Was it anything like this?
Behold, the glory of one's newest invention, the Bang Bang Continuous Fire Mechanism.
An impressive imitation.
Paimon knows her all too well.
Even so, Cloud Retainer was not always as ostentatious as you describe. You may be unaware, the Archon War reached its peak after Guizhong's death. The Cloud Retainer who fought beside me in those devastating battles was taciturn and solemn, only speaking when she had to act.
A Cloud Retainer who barely talks? Paimon can't picture it. But what happened after that? If you were so powerful in your
Once one had bid farewell to the world of mortals, what use would one dwelling between mountain and forest, away from the struggles and troubles of the mortal world? A mortal form is hardly the most fitting of choices.
After the war, Cloud Retainer retired to Mount Outsong, only revealing herself to the occasional visitor, and always in her although I do believe there was an occasion some 30-odd years ago when she decided to don her human form. I believe it was for the purpose of...
One believes there is little need to relive bygone matters.
Granny, are you okay?
Back then, at this place,
Perhaps this conversation should end here. I shall take my leave now. Should you encounter any trouble, you need only call my name. However, given that you are traveling with Cloud Retainer, I trust you are in good hands.
Everyone! I think Granny is finally beginning to...
Slowly now. Calm your...
A long time ago,
Huh. So what Shinto said was true! You did fall ill!
I don't remember. I'm very sorry, but I can't... I was confined to my room in Wangshu Inn, where I spent many days unconscious. I'd come to every once in a while instead. One day, I met a traveling merchant. Upon hearing of my illness, he sold me a bottle of soul-revitalizing tea pills. He told me that the pills were concocted using Adepti blood and could be used to alleviate my symptoms. Sure enough...
Wait, but if your illness remained dormant for several decades, are you saying that what you're going through now, and it was all thanks to the pills that you managed to keep the symptoms in check? Paimon's brain kinda hurts. Do you remember anything?
I'm sorry, I don't. Oh.
Hey, you're not useless. You've done so...
Oh, fret not, dear child.
The recovery of a person's memories is a gradual process. Finding peace is...
Next location. There isn't really a... After all, if she was there for any length of time, then she would have stayed somewhere, right? Oh, Paimon...
I'm sure I've forgotten something. Not to worry, I'll simply send someone to fetch it. As soon as I remember what it was.
Paimon sees an abandoned house! Why don't we take a break over there?
This place...
Did you remember something, Granny?
It was a moonless night. I had been injured, so your grandpa was supporting me. We fled together with some being in the fog behind us in hot pursuit. I had exhausted my strength when the labor pains came on, so we took refuge in this house. I remember that night. I remember falling to my knees, reciting a prayer. I alone am the source of this sin. Punish me as you wish for forsaking my oath, but spare my innocent child.
Sin? Oath?
I don't know. I don't remember. I only remember. Eventually, the house was filled with the sound of my baby's first cries. That baby was your father.
My dad?
He was my pride and joy, and so are you, Shuyu. But you're always going to be different from me. Why? Just what did I do?
I don't care what you might have done, Granny. You'll always be the person I love more than anything.
You're too sweet, Shuyu. I'm lucky to have you with me. If not for... All right. Let's not stand around any longer. There's one place...
If one recalls correctly, the next place should be Chenyu Peak. You and I, how fares your health?
I may be a bit slow, but I'll do my best to keep up. I'm sorry to keep everyone waiting.
Climb on. I shall carry you to the top. Oh, such lightness of weight.
All those who grow old grow frail in the end, do they not? First, you lose your memory, then your health. Eventually, you end up losing everything. My only wish is to depart this world with a lucid mind, to free myself of this torment and the burden it places upon others.
Fret not. You have my aid in this endeavor.
We're finally here. Does this place feel familiar to you, Granny One Day?
Let me see. How strange. Have I... When we were at Wangshu Inn and the abandoned house earlier, though I couldn't remember everything, I still felt a sense of familiarity. But here, I don't have that feeling. Perhaps I did come here in the past, but it just didn't leave us.
But did the stories get it wrong then? Yeah, that's true. Paimon was hoping this place would jog Granny Uenda.
I'm sorry to disappoint you too.
It's all right. We're not going to give up yet.
Thank you. Huh? That way. What's that mountain?
Oh, let Paimon look! Huh? Isn't that Mount Outsang? Looks like we've come full circle.
Mount Outsong. Mount Outsong.
Granny, are you okay? Don't push yourself, Granny. It's okay if you...
Mount Outsong.
Mount Outsong holds some familiarity.
It does, but I can't go back.
Are you feeling unwell?
My head. It feels...
Cloud... Miss Chenyu, is there anything you can do?
Let us go to Mount Outsong.
But...
Fret not. All will be well. You may leave the rest to me. I've prepared something that can aid you in suppressing the fear in your heart.
Wait, really? When did you do that?
I never leave anything to chance. All will reveal itself. Here, this is it.
Huh? But isn't this the mechanism that you were tinkering with when we first got—
Precisely. A recent one at that. I am most pleased with the result. I call it the Suspensus Somnium mechanism. It periodically releases a soft breeze, which when paired with a gentle, soothing agitation and anxiety, relieving exhaustion and insomnia, its potential...
Whoa, what a cool gadget! We could have come to Mount Outsong right off the bat and saved time on a...
How preposterous. Had you and I not recalled, we Adepti can only help those who first resolve to help themselves. Had she lacked such determination and strength of character,
Paimon thinks she gets hit
As previously mentioned, a gentle adeptal tune is required to take full advantage of the mechanism. One secured such a tune from Streetward Rambler.
Whoa, Paimon can feel what you mean. Paimon's body feels...
And you and I. It appears she has already succumbed to the depths of...
The drought is over. But why do you look like you want to cry?
The potion. It's nearly run its course.
I've never regretted meeting you. Not even for a second.
Please. Please, no. Have you forgotten? This is the world you left behind. One of gentle breeze and morning dew, perfectly straddled betwixt the realm. This is your home. This is where you belong. You should have never left. The you of the past, the...
So that is the truth. No wonder this place is so familiar.
Granny! Granny, are you...
Cloud Retainer.
Your memories have returned.
Wait, did you just call her? You already knew each other?
Yes.
Granny, please don't cry.
Oh, don't worry, my dear child. I'm so sorry, everyone. It's all come back to me now. The most...
One can sense the guilt that now plagues your conscience. Reclaiming a truth
No, it's okay. Shuyu, everyone.
Please, Granny, don't force yourself. What happened in the...
I know, dear child. My feeling some time ago. I made a terrible...
Is this the sin that you mentioned in...
I am, in truth, not a human being. My real form, one that I held for centuries, was that of a wild crane. I spent many, many years living on Mount Outsong, bathing in the soft breeze and drinking the sweet dew of the mountains. Though she never took me on as a formal disciple, I always saw her as my master. Whenever she took out her tool, I even contemplated completing my training and becoming an adeptus in my own right.
50 years ago?
That's right. Master regaled me with many stories of her past deeds. She was the one I looked up to the most. More than anything, I dreamt of becoming an adept, but I was still far from being a real adeptus. I possessed no ability to take on human form and fit. She warned me that the potion's effects would only last 10 years, and if I were to fail to return to my original form at the end of that time...
Oh no. So that was the source...
Was it because of Grandpa?
Indeed. I fell in love. Though he was human, he had spent his entire life training on Mount Tianheng. When we met, it was not only my first foray into the... Although clumsy and impulsive as he was, you'd think he was the real strange bird among the two of us. But still, just like me, he cared deeply about the world and I could not help but fall for him. But my time continued to tick away. Those 10 years...
Oh no, what happened next?
I committed an offense. I wanted to stay with him, even if it meant living a life full of pain and suffering, even if it meant that I would eventually turn into a monstrosity. I knew I had betrayed Master's hopes, but I was too ashamed to face her. So I wrote her a long letter instead and asked someone to leave it. I was convinced that she would not support my decision, and I lacked the courage to speak to her face to face. But that was only the beginning of my troubles. I began to suffer from a strain. Along with my memories as a crane, looking back, I was beyond lucky to have come across that traveling merchant at Wangshu Inn. It was such a fortunate
Granny! What's...
Coincidence? Why did I ever think it was a coincidence? Master, don't tell me.
Human custom would dictate the conferral of gifts to be in order when one's progeny is wedded, would it not?
So when I tried to conceal my name and mistakes from the world and hide myself away in perpetuity, the only...
One still remembers when you were but a fledgling. You possessed a certain fondness for a particular game. You would hide yourself among... One found you with such ease every time. 'Tis a truth most evident.
Wait! Paimon's confused! So, Cloud Retainer, you found Yuendai again? But how? When?
Perhaps it is now time for one to recount the rest of the tale. One was furious upon receiving your letter. Seized with anger, one set out to bring you to your senses. If you are presently unoccupied, perhaps we could stop a while at one's abode for some repose and conversation. Yeah! Scatter! Skyward! Yeah! Skyward! Yeah! Scatter! Skyward! Yeah! Yeah! Scatter! Skyward! Rah! Yeah! Yeah! Skyward! Scatter! In truth, one had more than a few misgivings about your chosen partner. As an exorcist, his talent was lacking. But soon, one came to appreciate the devotion he bestowed upon you during... Unwilling to begrudge someone of such character, one decided to overlook his aforementioned, wishing to grant you a life without regrets. One gathered many divine ingredients and used one's own blood. As for how to deliver the medicine, after much contemplation, one took great care to alter one's features and select the appropriate attire. Only after, as one expected, you were most ignorant of one's true identity. You showed not... One was quite torn. Should one have... Yeah! Scatter! Skyward! Scatter! Yeah! Scatter! Skyward! Yeah! Scatter! Skyward! Yeah! Scatter! Nevertheless, one would speak to you about another matter, if you are amenable. Even considering your loss of memory, one was simply flabbergasted that you could so easily forget the consequences of consuming medicine infused with adeptal blood. Its proclivity to attract monsters is hardly that complicated of a concept to remember. To think that you tried to travel while weak from sickness and heavy with child. Had one not intervened to clear the fog, all would have been lost during the night. Yeah! Skyward! Scatter! Seize the skies! Yeah! Skyward! Skyward! Scatter! Skyward! Stray clouds converge! Those monsters would hardly have pursued you with such ferocity without sufficient incentive. They were likely incited by the presence of godly remains. Said godly remains, in turn, were likely drawn to the... One was, after all, an active participant in the Archon War. Some of the gods were likely shattered by contraptions of one's very making. In the end, one was relieved to see you endure through the night. At the break of dawn, one heard an infant's cry pierce through the air, and one saw you carefully cradle the child to your chest to see you happy. Now you should have a complete understanding of the events.
Wait! But if that's true, then the crane who took care of me when I was sick must also be...
Ah, one had almost neglected to recount the absurdities of that tale. Just as you and I troubled one with her antics, so did you give one many a headache. Upon finding you burning with fever, one made plans to bring you back to one's abode for treatment. However, upon seeing when one asked you why, apparently you believed that one could not possibly be a true adept. One had no choice but to apply powder to one's body to conceal the variegated nature of one's appearance. You became more than amenable enough when one stood before you devoid of any other coloring. It bears mentioning, however, that as a crane, you and I was nearly entirely pure white. Perhaps fate brought you Now all has been revealed. One owes you an apology, you and I. One has always viewed you as a disciple of equal standing with Ganyu and Shenhe. Still, one could not reveal your identity right away. Had one simply informed you of all, memories are most meaningful when recalled by those who lived through them.
Master, I must ask. If you found me all those years ago, why did you leave?
One has never regarded your action as a mistake. When it is time for one's progeny to leave the nest, it is the responsibility of an elder to let them fly free. Yet, when your wings grow weary and the night grows dark, 'tis a refuge referred to by many a name in mortal writing. Home, nest, haven, whatever its denomination. One speaks, of course, of a place not unlike one's own abode. One's disciples are free to come and go as they wish, yet the door remains forever open to those who wish to return.
Thank you.
You and I. One expects you too have sensed the rapid deterioration. 40 years ago, you chose a path without a future. Though one used one's own blood to provide you with a few decades of extra time, even the power of an adeptus has its limits. Had your condition continued to deteriorate, fortunately, you were able to avoid that scenario by reclaiming your memories. Though one sped the one will help her reclaim her original form as a wild crane.
She's gotta go back to being a regular crane.
Master, you've already... I don't know how I could possibly repay your kindness. This...
Not long. The The transformation is imminent.
Granny, please don't leave, okay? You're all I have left.
Don't be sad, dear child. Granny has led a wonderful life. Don't forget to eat well, okay? A growing young lady like yourself needs lots of good food to grow big and strong. Promise Granny you'll take good care of yourself when I'm gone.
I promise, Granny.
Good girl. Good girl. Don't worry. It's not goodbye forever. I won't stop until I can turn into a human without having to rely on anything but my own power.
Good.
That's a good girl. Even though we won't see each other for a little...
I'll eat well, Granny. I promise. And I'll live...
That's a good girl. I'm so sorry, Master. Thank you.
Xiu.
Let her be. At her age, crying is a natural, if not fitting, response to such an event. Tears are a necessary part of maturation. Sometimes there is scarcely a better vehicle to wash away the toll of stress and misery. Now that the issue has been resolved, you should also take a moment to relax. Give yourself some time to...
We would see each other again, that our days of separation would finally end, and all my troubles would be behind me. Things could stay this way forever.
A nightmare? Curious. If you're relaxed, shouldn't your dreams be pleasant?
It was a good dream. It's just...
You weren't ready to wake up. Eloquent as one may be, Words of comfort are not one's strong suit. You are doing all you can. One can see your strength of will, your fearlessness in the face of danger. And so, whatever your dream may be, one believes that you shall achieve it. Of course, whenever the perils you face overwhelm you, or you become weary, one is always here for you. After all, as an elder, it is only right to look out for the young ones.
Grilled chicken drumsticks. Huh? Was Paimon sleeping just now? Oh, Paimon wasn't talking to
Madam...
Oh, Shuyu, you're awake. How do you feel?
I feel... Madam Adeptus, could I, ask you something? Would you take me in as a disciple?
Oh, and have you reasons for this sudden interest?
I know Granny thought what she did back then was wrong, but without that mistake, I would have never been born. Even though Granny lost her memories, she never forgot to show me how much I could become a cool Adeptus like you and help a whole bunch of people, just like
Upon some reflection, one supposes you are no mere mortal. The fact that Yuendai's blood flows through your veins is proof enough of that. If this is what you desire...
Thank you so much, Madam Adeptus. No, I mean... Master.
Shuyu, are you sure about this? Paimon's gonna let you in on a little secret. We've seen Cloud Retainer's 2 other disciples, and they pretty much eat nothing but bitter herbs like Chin and violet grass. If you join them, you'll never enjoy One Min Restaurant's delicious cooking ever again.
How utterly preposterous. One has never enforced such a rule. Every individual must find their own path to enlightenment. So long as one retains a pureness of spirit, one's dietary proclivities are quite irrelevant.
Well, you say that, but Paimon's not seeing any tasty treats up here now, is she?
Although Mount Outsong is rich in natural beauty, its location does preclude act. That is precisely why one plans to relocate to Liyue Harbor. Shuyu shall have the honor of becoming one's first disciple in the human world.
Whoa, you're leaving Mount Outsong?
One has never concerned oneself with the location of one's... Yet in the end, all of one's disciples ended up in Liyue Harbor. Ganyu, Shenhe, Yuendai. One has reflected on this fact for many years now. One can only assume that it is due to some failing of... One is most curious as to what aspect of Liyue Harbor could have enticed them to remain there. One could hardly offer an opinion on the matter, but perhaps sometime... Why are you all so silent?
Paimon is, just a bit shocked, that's all. So, does this mean we can grab a meal together in Liyue Harbor sometime?
One has precious little time to squander. One will be assuming the identity of a human while residing...
Don't worry, we'll help you keep it a secret. So, when can we expect to start seeing you in the city?
Perhaps in 2 days' time. One has some matters to see to before one's departure. One has already picked out a handsome property near Chuhu Rock. 'Tis no small purchase, but what is mortal life if not one expense after another?
Seems like you've really thought of everything. Then how about we meet up?
A sensible plan. See you then. Oh, also, why don't you take this suspensus somnium
Awesome! Thanks! Hey, didn't we promise Shincho that we'd tell him what we found out? Should we make a trip? So, about your move to Liyue Harbor, you gonna tell the...
I have left an explanatory note in my abode. Those 2 old fossils will discover it, I am sure, should they come seeking. Considering their recent penchant for going off on private escapades, however, I find myself carrying...
the way, Shuyu, we have a friend who helped us learn a lot of it.
Sure, I don't think Granny would mind. As long as you... I don't think she'd want too many people to know. They might go to Mount Outsong and start bugging her about it. Granny needs to focus on her training.
No worries, our friend...
Your concerns are excessive and unfounded. This is but a simple collection of ordinary...
To be quite honest, your insistence on that fact is my... In what way are any of these ordinary? Every single item here could be worth more than everything I own combined. I simply can't I have to be careful. Yes, you can never be...
We're here, Clow! Miss...
Ah, perfect timing. This ignoramus is questioning the authenticity of my wares. I'll have you know, these items have remained untouched in my personal collection for several hundred years.
Several... hundred years?
Indeed. They're family heirlooms, you see. Passed down over many
Yep, they've definitely been around a while. We can vouch for her on that one.
Hear that? Had I not found myself in need of Mora, I would scarcely have had the heart to doubt their authenticity any further, and I may just decide to take—
Whoa! Please don't go! I apologize for any insult, miss. You see, I know—
An expert, you say? Very well. I will wait for a little while longer, then. Traveler, Paimon, this is my new residence. If you have cause to seek my company in the future—
Master! Oh, it's you two again. Hello.
Shoo-you! You got a new outfit!
Mm-hmm. Master made it for me. I like it too.
Huh? You know how to make...
Do I know how to make clothes? With this...
Master, I brought in most of my stuff. There's a few boxes left, but they're kind of heavy.
Fret not. I shall help you move them into your room.
Actually, I should probably sort through my stuff a bit first. Everything's...
It appears my young apprentice has her own fair share of secrets. No matter. Do what you must, child. Now, this expert you mentioned.
Soon. Ah, they're here. Allow me to make some introductions. This is Mr. Zhongli, a well-respected consultant at Wangshang Funeral Parlor and an expert in all manner of valuables and antiques. Mr. Zhongli, this is Miss Shenyun. She's the one who's looking to sell the collection of valuables I mentioned earlier.
If it isn't Miss Shenyun. It has been quite some time since our last meeting. What a serendipitous reunion.
Indeed, most serendipitous. Have you been faring well as of late, Mr. Zhongli?
Quite well, thank you. I was fortunate enough over the past few days to enjoy both a stroll in the mountains and a fresh brew of tea from the most recent harvest. The experiences left me with such insight and peace.
Huh. So you two are already acquainted?
Indeed. How fortunate we are that fate has brought us together again. If you are otherwise unaware, allow me to inform you that
You are too kind, Mr. Zhongli. True collectors pride themselves on their wealth of knowledge and eye for detail. I can say without a doubt that you are foremost in that regard.
Why, you flatter me, Miss Shenyun. It would seem that you are as self-effacing as ever.
Not at all, Mr. Zhongli. Not at all.
While I am loath to butt into this conversation, I must ask, you two already knew each other, and you seem to have quite a cordial relationship. Can I be certain that you're not working together to swindle me? I mean, you never know.
Huh! A preposterous accusation. The heavens themselves would collapse before we would conspire to do such a thing.
Miss Shenyun speaks the truth. Contracts are built on honesty and trust. If that proves to be beyond your capabilities in this instance, this transaction may be taken elsewhere.
Say no more. Let us depart.
I jest. What fool would still harbor doubts after Mr. Zhongli himself has vouched for the goods? Miss Shenyun, wait! I deeply apologize for doubting you. So, Mr. Zhongli...
There is no cause for concern. They are indeed rare and precious valuables. Take this mechanism, for instance. The same can be said for this one here. Few could hope to possess an item. I am sure you have heard from your travels that the study of mechanisms is among the most wondrous arts in this.
All right. Since I hired you as my consultant, Then, in that case, Miss Shenyun, I'll take the lot. However, since the final sum is...
The Northland Bank? Huh. Oh, you refer to the fiduciary house. Oh, very well.
I fear people only use the term bank nowadays. In that case, I'll be off for now. I'll return to collect the goods once you've
Xiangli!
My friends, have you been doing well?
We've been great! How about you? Paimon didn't know you were such a busy consultant!
My days have been quite pleasant as well. I had been quietly enjoying a cup of tea when Mr. Xiaozu requested my services. As for you, Miss Shenyun, I presume you must be looking to settle in the city?
I must say, the name Shenyun sounds exceedingly strange coming from you.
Whatever for. Am I not addressing you as a friend should?
Well, that is true, but... Alas, refer to me however you will. After all, a name exists such that others may address you with.
It would seem that you have gained many valuable insights over the years, Cloud Retainer.
One has indeed. One's previous stays were all brief. Now that one has made up one's mind to move and settle, one has gained a much better appreciation of the hubbub and commotion of the city, as well as the people's hard work and ardor. This city is much changed from how it was more than 1,000 years ago.
Not unlike the ocean tides, so too shall the movement of people ebb and flow. From turmoil to peace, enlightenment to aspiration. Human society possesses limitless potential. In another 1,000 years...
Alright, that's enough reflection for one day. No need to get all sentimental on us.
You make a valid point, Paimon. Now that the sale has concluded, what say one plays the host as we try some specialty dishes together? One must profess great interest in trying bamboo shoot soup.
Perhaps you have forgotten, Cloud Retainer, but I once tried my hand at that dish.
Oh? What occasion was this?
It was a reunion between friends several centuries ago. Alas, you must have been too preoccupied to secure yourself a portion. Or perhaps our other companions simply availed themselves of faster reflexes on that occasion.
Huh! Hardly. 'Twas most certainly out of consideration for the others in attendance. In but a moment, one will show you what it means to have a true deftness of hand. It is settled then. Bamboo shoot soup, mora meat, crab roe tofu, triple-layered consommé. We shall enjoy the lot. One has already passed word to Shenhe and Ganyu to make a reservation. It is prime time for them to meet one's new...
It should be a most splendid occasion.
Shu Yu, come now, it is time to dine. Ah, this gentleman over here is Mr. Zhang Li. He is,
a humble employee of Wangsheng Funeral Parlor. Pleased to make your acquaintance.
Nice to meet you too, Mr. Zhongli.
That should be everyone, right? What?
Sounds good. Actually, Master, have you ever tried Adeptus' temptation? I heard it's impossible to stop eating after eating.
That sounds rather implausible. Although with the right preparation, certain dishes...
Huh? Why are you all walking so fast? Hey, wait for Paimon! Hey, wait up!
Adventurer, think you can last a round against me?
I have to stifle a smile every time I remember the look on my retainers' faces when I informed them of my plans today. Panic-stricken, but unable to muster the courage to say anything in opposition. Yes,